it being the day after the first day of bow season, which I did go out. I only saw some does, so I didn't take a shot. Buddy that was with me, he wanted to go ahead and fill a doe tag, so he did shoot a doe. But anyway, so it being bow season, I'd show a little bit of crossbow here. Now, I know some people are like, compound bow is the only way to go. Yes, I used to shoot a compound bow, but if you don't practice enough with a compound bow, I don't feel comfortable making shots at deer. You want to kill a deer cleanly and quickly. And if you don't practice with a compound, I don't think it's fair to the deer. Now, when you get crossbow, you still have to practice, not as much. And once you get it sighted in, it normally stays pretty good. It only differs a little bit. So anyway, yeah, so I am a crossbow guy now, but I'm older too, and I just don't have time to practice with the compound. Now, this isn't exactly top of the line crossbow. It's, I'd say middle, and that's basically what I always buy because I use my stuff and I don't have the money to buy the high tech. But it's a Barnett Hyper Raptor. It has a couple neat features. It has adjustable stock for, however you want. It has a nice little rope holder in the back, which I'll load one up here in a while. Of course, it's got your scope. It has a drop down foregrip. I don't actually use that. I just leave it in the up position. But anyway, it's a Barnett Hyper Raptor. It's mid-pack quality, but out to 30 yards, 35 yards, you don't need the real fancy, expensive ones. This thing will do the job. It's actually my third. Matter of fact, the last buck I got last year was with a cheaper one than this, and I'll show you. Oh no, not last year. I did get one last year. Several years ago, I got a really nice one with an even cheaper bow, but now a deer I got a few years ago, I bought it with, it was another Barnett, but I've had a Bear, but it was a cheaper Barnett, and actually I'll show you that deer really quick, and that crossbow was a lot cheaper and less fancier than this one, but yeah, give me a second and I'll show you it. So here, this one's from several years ago. It is a 10-point. Got 6 on one side, 4 on another. That's a nice deer. I'd take it any day. And that was done with a crossbow. It might have been like three years ago. And this was the crossbow buck from last year, 8-point. Not as pretty or as fancy, but we will definitely take one that size any day. Another thing I like about these crossbows versus compound. Compound's more traditional, I know, nobody attack me on that. But this bow here, it actually takes 200, I think it's 14 pounds to pull it back. Now, because it goes through the pulley systems and stuff, it doesn't feel that much to you, but this is actually about as much as I want to pull back with a cocking rope, which I'll show you that. This is just a plain cocking rope. I'll show you later how it hooks up. Some of these bows you can get or add a crank. There's a little crank in the back and you can crank it back. I did have one like that before. I don't like it, but anything pulling harder than this I probably couldn't do. Also, because you are putting that much pressure on these strings and it's holding that much weight, the bolt, they call bows shoot arrows, crossbows shoot bolts. But the bolt flying out of this is right around 400 feet per second. So that's pretty quick. So here is the difference. This is out of a compound bow, my old compound bow, and this is the bolt out of my crossbow. So a lot smaller. They can go a lot faster too. And just to show you, this is a practice tip or a field tip, they call it. This is what I'll be shooting at targets and practicing with. So what you do is these little tips weigh a certain amount. And then this is a broadhead. Now you want to start a big argument with people. You talk about whether you want a mechanical or a fixed broadhead. These are mechanical. This brand I haven't had any problems with. Shot a few deer with it. So I'm in this boat. I like the mechanicals. And to show you how mechanical works, I'll try to do this without cutting myself. This is kind of the style I use. It's almost the same. So front point is a solid piece, and then when it hits the deer, these open up. And I'm not opening up quite the whole way because I don't, there they go. So when it opens up, that's what's going through the deer, making a big wound channel. Rifles kill with, I think they call it kinetic shock. They kill with shock, and bows are more hemorrhaging. So the bigger cut, the better, the quicker the deer will go down. And as always, you're trying to be humane, so you want a quick kill. So like I said, I'm more of a gun guy than I am a bow by far. But let's do the old story of the William Tell. And I can't remember the exact story, but I know he had to shoot an apple off his dad's head. I think he did something wrong, and they were going to punish him, and they said, unless you show us how good you are, if you can shoot the apple off the head or something like that. So anyway, let's go give it a shot. Okay, so let's load one up. The back, get into that little ball. Feed the rope through. Here, click it in. Step on the bottom. Okay, just to show you, this is my miniature. You've seen my shooting bench for my rifles and stuff. This is my miniature bench to shoot at a bow target, which is just out in my yard. And since we're doing the William Tell story, here's an apple. It was free. It came off of one of our trees, so I'm not wasting food. But yeah, so the William Tell story, we'll see how this one goes. Okay, so now let's get a bolt put in it. Okay, we got the bolt in there. Let's see if William Tell's dad's gonna live. Well, I guess William Tell's dad would have lived on this one. My only issue now is I have a sticky bolt, but this is just one of my practice bolts, so it was just for fun. But anyway, so William Tell's dad would have lived if he was shooting that crossbow. It's probably only 25 yards, but you know, I didn't want to miss really badly. So anyway, crossbows, they're pretty wicked.